Manchester United played against Bournemouth in the Premier League Summer Series in a preseason game. Man United demolished Bournemouth 4-1. So Man United 4, Bournemouth 1. And goals came from, the first one was by Rasmus Hojlund, which I was particularly happy about. The next one was by Patrick Dorgu at the 25th minute. And then the third one was by Diallo after a scramble in the box. And then the last one by another one that I am pretty excited about, Ethan Williams. He scored at the 72nd minute after coming in 1 minute earlier. So it was a good game. It was a great game to watch. Actually, it was an interesting game to watch. I was particularly interested at why Rúben Amorim would have chosen the first starting lineup. So the game started with Tom Heaton in net. Quite excited about that one. Was happy to see that, despite the fact that obviously Altair was number 2, Tom Heaton is number 3. Probably would have been could have even taken it to be him, the number 1 goalkeeper. And then in defense, we had Harry Maguire, centre of centre back, then Euro, right side of centre back, and on the left side of centre back, Luke Shaw. That 3 actually kind of worked really well, and they were doing what Rúben Amorim wanted them to do. Basically, with Harry Maguire, basically defending very well against Ivan Nielsen, doing well in trying to kind of block any ball that comes to him, heading anything that comes to Ivan Nielsen, and all of that. And then Luke Shaw taking care of Semenyo on that side and all of that. And then on the right side of defense, Lenny Yoro doing Lenny Yoro things. He's now become a mainstay in the squad, leading from the back as well, doing the right things, covering the channels and passing the ball like properly and all that. Tom Heaton, couple of saves, in the first half and in the second half, made some very, very good saves, even with his foot, diving saves and all of that, controlling things from the back, clearing when necessary, and all of that. And then we moved to Diogo Dalot, who didn't particularly have a very good game. He had a kind of like an okay game. Misplaced passes here and there in the first half, maybe because of pressure and all of that. But Diogo Dalot did really well, try to keep things moving, keep things ticking. So I saw something online where somebody posted a picture of Man United in a position that looked like we were defending in a 4-4-2, and it's like, oh, I'm excited to see that Manchester United that Rúben Amorim is adapting to the Premier League by playing a 4-4-2 formation, blah 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 blah. Maybe it's because we're defending 4-4-2 in out of possession or something, or in possession or whatever he said. I saw this on Thread, and I was like, nah, Rúben Amorim doesn't change formation. Rúben Amorim says he won't change. And we've seen it over the years. He cannot be defending in a 4-4-2. He would either defend in a 5-3-2, which would mean the wing backs are back, or he would defend in a 3-5-2, which would mean the wing backs are in the mid block. So this is what it is. And I just kind of commented and said, Rúben Amorim never changes. And he's like, oh, read the last line. I'm like, no, it's not about the last line. Dalot was 5 steps back. If you push Dalot up 5 steps, before the image, at the time of the image capture, you will see that it's a 3-5-2, and it held that position for a long time. It's just that if you go and look at the heat maps for both wing backs, Dalot and Dogo, you see that Dogo was the highest. So now Man United have played 3 friendlies against Leeds, we played a friendly against Leeds in Stockholm, played a friendly against West Ham 1-2-1, and played a friendly against Bournemouth 4-1. And in those 3 games, we've been unbeaten, and we have won 2 and drawn 1. Yeah, everybody say, oh, it's only preseason and all of that, but the Reds are now the only team in the friendly competition with a perfect record, following another promising performance out in the United States. Now, 2 first team goals, obviously they were very well worked goals, which brings me to Patrick Dorgu on the left side of the wing-back position. And he is a beast. Patrick Dorgu is a beast. Like, he does things that you would expect. And the truth is, Man United fans are very quick to be impatient with a player that just joined, a player that just came, and they are like saying, oh, Dogo, get him out the club. Like, I've literally seen tweets and posts about people criticizing Dogo and all of that, forgetting that Dogo plays with a group of people. He plays with, all the times he's either played with, maybe when he's playing with Mount, you can see the difference. But when he's playing with Garnacho on the left side and him on the left side of the wing backs, either Garnacho goes wide, Dogo comes in, or Garnacho goes in, Dogo goes wide. And still, Garnacho doesn't give him the ball for him to square. That doesn't create opportunities for him. If you remember the Real Sociedad game, one of the games, either the home or the away leg, when Garnacho was put on the right wing spot, right 10th spot, Dogo was playing left wing back, and Dogo was still the highest player. He was still running forward. He was still bombing down the line. He was still the highest, player in the front. So, it shows that taking one person out of the system makes the other person all the more better. And you see that because we didn't even start the game with Cunha or even Mbeumo, right? There's a potential that Mbeumo starts the Everton game, and that's pretty much a test to see maybe if how he fits in the system and if he's taking on instruction. So back to Dogo. Dogo was doing everything in fact, Dogo was doing Dogo things. He's making that left wing back spot his, and it's going to make it a little bit hard for players like Diego Leon to knock him off, players like Ariamas as well to knock him off. So we have depth in that left wing back spot, where I probably would have a challenge with right wing back if Rúben Amorim intends to try to leave Bendito Matato as the right wing back along with Diogo Dalot and Nuzi Majraoui, potentially, if Nuzi Majraoui is not converted to a centre back, and what's his name? Nuzi Majraoui, Diogo Dalot, Ahmad, and Bendito Matato. So these are players that will potentially, be, when it comes to squad depth, in our right wing back spot. Then so Dogo got the assist, the right-footed cross for Hojlund, who just headed the ball into the net, and we had a first goal. And then we had another assist from Mason Mount straight to Dogo, who had one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And he pushed it to the left while he was running, pushed it to the left and swung it under the keeper, and he scored. Remember the keeper? The keeper is Georgi Petrovic from Chelsea. Was sold to Bournemouth, as Chelsea had, Chelsea had loaned Arrizabalaga to Bournemouth. Then Chelsea sold Arrizabalaga because Bournemouth didn't activate his deal. Chelsea sold Arrizabalaga to Arsenal, and then got Georgi Petrovic. So Georgi Petrovic is at Bournemouth now. Now, that is basically it with Patrick Dorgu. He was interesting. For Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, I saw something that looked like a relationship brewing there, but it wasn't there yet. There was still some cracks and stuff. Maybe we say due to the weather, but I can see some intricate plays going on. I can see some passing in between. I can see some movements in between Bruno and Casemiro. Bruno trying to control the game, Casemiro trying to make some quick, fast passing. And it actually really, really helped the team, really helped the team grow, helped the team move, helped the team transition. Bruno was playing with so much confidence, sometimes passing with walking pace, but, showing, some kind of swag when he was trying to pass and all of that. So Bruno had an okay game. Casemiro had an okay game, sliding tackles and stuff, doing what Casemiro does. There was a good game in the mid, and then obviously we come to the 210 position. Surprisingly, Rúben Amorim went with Mason Mount and saying obviously that Cunha needed rest, and then Ahmad as one of the other 10s, right? And then obviously after Ahmad, it was now so if we're going to talk about, first of all, Mason Mount pressing hard, pressing with tenacity, winning the balls, winning duels and all that. I'd have loved to see his stats on the day, but Mason Mount really pressed hard and heavy, to try to win the ball up top for Man United and everything. So it was interesting to see Mason Mount really do some magic up top. And yeah, he did it with so much confidence and tenacity, right? Winning balls, he got an assist, was driving the team forward, was pressing hard. I've said press multiple times, but yeah, Mason Mount did it. And yeah, that's pretty much what Mason Mount did, basically. Yeah, so it was an interesting game to watch. Was an interesting game to watch, or for the team as a whole. Yeah, so Mason Mount pressed. If we're going to go with basically his stats on the day, yeah, if we're going to go with the stats on the day, I'll get that and read it out to you. But then Mason Mount did really well. Then over to Ahmad. Ahmad was also, like, Ahmad is a class player on his own, basically. This is not me trying to big him up or anything. Ahmad is a class player on his own. Did what was necessary to be done on the day. Like, he did what was necessary to be done. He got a goal. He played 71 minutes, just like the last game, right? So he did what was necessary to be done, Ahmad. So Ahmad, really, you know, ball control. He was fouled a couple times. I don't know what is wrong with the ref. Ref was not even like making some calls. Was, you know, annoying and all of that. But Ahmad, yeah, amazing. And then obviously Mason Mount got the assist, as I said, and all that. And then to the guy that I was watching to see if there was going to be an improvement, considering the pressure that has been on him over the last year, basically. Rasmus Hojlund got a goal and then was very, very, you know, good on the day, right? I know the commentators were trying to make it look like, oh, he disappeared. No, he was being fouled a couple of times, being pulled a couple of times. Now he's making that his hold-up play to work for him with some one-touch pass, intricate plays, build-up plays, pass, left side, flicks, dribbles, turns, hold. Like, the guy was doing everything right for that 71 minutes that he played. And there was something I saw in the last game that made me kind of believe that Rúben Amorim kind of trusts this guy and believes in him. Yeah, if another striker comes, that's more of a competition for him. I saw them, the way they shook hands and hugged. Even in this one, him and Amorim kind of shook hands and hugged. I was like, yeah, Rúben Amorim is telling him to do stuff and he's actually doing it. As Hojlund is saying he's going to fight for his spot in this squad, right? Now, if we're going to go with the subs, Matthijs de Ligt came in at the 46th minute. Rúben Amorim was asked in the press conference why Maguire was subbed off in the 46th minute, and he said, oh, Maguire came in late and he was basically working his way up and he wanted to manage the load. So de Ligt came, got the own goal, but no doubt it was solid. He was doing those things that were mentioned by Rúben Amorim in the last game with regards to him not pressing the midfielder higher. You know, he did what was necessary, what was needed to be done, right? And then same thing for Aiden Heaven. Came in at the first minute, was confident, was dribbling, was holding play, was passing, was moving. And Tim Howard was on one of the commentators was saying that he loves the way Aiden Heaven plays. He loves the way the guy, you know, applies himself and all of that. So I was particularly impressed with Aiden Heaven. And then if we're to go to the next one, Diego Leon, he was involved in the fourth goal. He was running so hard that he fell off himself. He fell on himself. He was running so hard that he fell on himself. But his advancement of play, his strength to hold up players, to knock players down, kind of made him, you know, to be able to, you know, advance the play and then get the opportunity to pass the ball to Ethan Williams. So technically, he had the assist, but it is what it is. And then the next one we have on our list is Tyler Fredrickson. Tyler Fredrickson played from the 71st minute to the end and was okay, largely not as visible, but was very okay, involved in the game and all of that. You could see the maturity there, playing as one of the centre backs, as the right centre back. So imagine that partnership of Tyler Fredrickson, Matthijs de Ligt, and Aiden Heaven. Matthijs de Ligt being the older of the three, Tyler Fredrickson being the next, and then Aiden Heaven being the youngest, but Matthijs de Ligt leading them from the back. And in a situation where, obviously, you have Lenioro, Fredrickson, and Heaven. Fredrickson is going to be leading because he's the older of the three, but obviously Euro is a class player and can lead as well. Then we have Kobbie Mainoo. So when Kobbie Mainoo came on, I was surprised. I was like wanting to see where Amorim was going to deploy him. Surprisingly, Amorim deployed him as one of the 10s. So he was on the right side of the 10s, so right 10. Played really well, hold up play, 1-2, dribbling, nicking players off, and was nutmegging and all of that. It was amazing to watch Kobbie Mainoo again, but it was only kind of like for a little over 20 minutes. or maybe 20 minutes on the spot. And then next person we had was Manuel Ugarte, another 20 minutes. He played 71 minutes or 65 minutes in the last game, and then he's playing 71 minutes. He played from the first minute in this one till the end, another 20 minutes, good minutes under his belt. Like I said, and I've said time and again, we need an Ugarte in this squad. But then there was a pass that was passed to Ugarte that led to the goal. That pass was a bit heavy, and his touch was a bit heavy, and made them to pounce on it. And then from there, maybe because he's found himself in the wrong position and the ball was pounced on, and from there it led to the goal. So before that, before we get to what I was going to say, we're going to go to the next player that was brought on, and that is Toby Collier. Toby Collier showed more in this 20 minutes that he played compared to what he showed in the last game when he played. In the last game when he played, it was a bit lethargic, but this one he had looked like he had a bit more drive in this one, and he did really well. He put in a lot of effort and defended well, pressed high when necessary, showed energy and all of that. So I was particularly impressed with Toby Collier. I've done a player profile about Toby Collier. Is there? I also did another player profile on Diego Leon. I've done another player profile on. I've done a player profile on Diego Leon. Done a player profile on Kobe Mainu and Mateusz Cunha, Brian Mbumo. Now I'll be doing a few of them. I think I've prepared one for Tyler Ferguson, but we're gonna see. The next one is Bendito Mantato, another player I loved to watch. I'd have loved to watch. I was trying to, see what he brings to the squad. Bendito Mantato did well, largely not as effective, but was making those mistakes that you see young boys when they play ball make. But then it was okay. He's like Amorim's Coenda style kind of player. But Bendito Mantato is still young, 17 years, has a lot to learn. Will still build from there. Still grow. He still has a whole lot to learn. Just 17. Will be 18 next January, right? So pretty young. Nothing much to say. And then for the next one, which is a worry for me right now, because that's one of the reasons why I think Manchester United will be going for a striker, and that is Chido Obi. Now, Chido Obi plays well when he's confident. Plays well when he's still a young lad. He's only 18. Chido Obi is only 18. So he's still got like a whole lot, actually 17. He's going to turn 18 in, Chidobe's only 17. He's going to turn 18 in November. So he's still got like loads of time, still going to learn and all of that. But one thing I expected from him, maybe he's not that kind of player, is the energy, the drive, the hunger. He didn't show it in that second half, albeit he came in the first minute. He didn't show it in that second half. He needs to kind of loosen up a little bit. Like, there were some passes that needed to happen. You could tell that this is what they've worked on in training, but he was one step behind. I noticed that Rúben was still trying to encourage him from the bench, but it seemed like he was one step behind in that run of play. But it is what it is. He will need to adjust, especially because this is preseason. He would need to adjust. He would need to kind of build himself in such a way that he can, meet up with the standards that's required for Manchester United. But he's still young, 17, has a whole lot of time to get that done. And that's the good thing about this Chido Obi situation. I was a bit worried, but I was like, if this guy wants to make it in this first team, he needs to do slightly better than what Rasmus is doing right now. Like there was one pass that was to him. It was expected that he was supposed to be in front of the player, who was one step behind the player. He tried to run to catch up, it was already late and all of that. So these are the things that we need to be looking at. The next person we have is Ethan Williams. Played from the first minute, and the 72nd minute he scored. If not that he made that run, I was looking forward to watching it because I've watched it. I think I watched Ethan Williams for a year in the academy, and I was looking forward to him, becoming, that Man United player that we needed. He's only 19, still got time to evolve. I'm not going to be surprised if he's going to be sent on loan again, or maybe this time to a championship team. But he played really well. He tried to make things happen, and he tried to, attack as one of the 10s, playing from the left 10 position. And that's pretty much one of the positions that will fit him in the forward line, because he started out as a winger at Man United and can evolve. And so long as he can hit the ball between the lines, he's able to achieve great things for Manchester United. So that's Ethan Williams. And now for my man of the match in this game, as everybody would say, this was Patrick Dorgu. He had 1 assist, 1 goal, and created a couple of chances. for Manchester United and was involved in the game in total, right? And then we're going to go for, how Amorim applied himself. Obviously, you can tell that Man United, that the system is working. Like, it's coming to play, coming to shape. The last game, he said, we found it difficult to keep possession when necessary. We're rushing it to go forward and all of that. But this time around, he said in the press conference that we're able to keep the ball well, we're able to put things in place and pass well and all of that, come closer to each other. And it showed because of the maturity. Yeah, the weather was not friendly, but the maturity also helped, for the players and the team to evolve and all of that. So it was a good game to watch. Everybody was quite excited. For me, there's no need to be so giddy, ahead of the game. Like, there was no need to be so giddy even post game. I just wanted to watch how the team was going to play. So Bournemouth actually had a clean sheet against Everton, and Man United actually just came and destroyed everything they've done. And then Andoni Iraola came out to say that Man United are a step above them, way ahead of them and all of that. But I thought that Bournemouth were ahead of us because they had one more game ahead of us. So when we played Leeds and West Ham, they had already played one game before us. I think it was Bristol City, and their preseason was early, right? They had one game before we played West Ham, and then they played Everton the next game. They beat that, I think, Bristol or something. They beat Everton, and then they came to us and we beat them. Meanwhile, we just played Leeds and all of that, right? So it is what it is. Basically, with Patrick Dorgu, he was consistently stretching the play, becoming the key facet for Manchester United's attacking output, and he had netted his first. I mean, surprisingly, you think Dogo had played multiple games. He probably only played 17 games last season, but it is what it is. 17 or maybe 20 games last season for Man United, and then obviously the rain was not really helpful. We were supposed to have cooling break, but it was cancelled and all of that. Then Euro put in a good shift, as I said. It was pretty interesting. The subs that were not used in that on the bench were Ataba and there, who I don't expect to play because he played the last 9 minutes of the game against West Ham. Still another goalkeeper, as goalkeeper number 4, potentially going to be used in the game against Everton. Rhys Monroe hasn't been used at all. But Kikonki didn't come on this tour. Rhys Monroe hasn't been used at all. I thought he was going to be, but it is what it is. Next one is Jack Fletcher. Jack Fletcher was on the bench as well. Obviously, he has played 2 games. The one person I want to watch play is Sekou Kone. Everybody's looking forward to that guy. All of that, he's one midfielder that I think will be very interesting to watch and very interesting to see what happens when he comes on. So it is what it is. Let me know your thoughts and feelings in the comment section. I have at least tried to give you a review of the entire game. There was no need to do player ratings because this is more of pre-season. So if we're going to do player ratings, we're probably going to do that when the season starts. Well, just the way I've spoken about the players, you can kind of guess the kind of rating I would have given them. But yeah. Players were the players in the team were very instrumental. And you can see one thing I've learned from this team, and the one part that I forgot to mention, which has happened to us twice. One thing I've learned from this team is the camaraderie, the cohesion. These guys have a good relationship, and you can tell the way they play on the field. The one-touch passing, the intricate plays, and all of that, you could tell the way they play on the field. Now, the one thing that I noticed that has happened 2 games in a row against West Ham and now against Bournemouth is that channel defending. Now, the channel defending that's between the centre-back and the right centre-back, or the centre-back and the left centre-back has become a problem. Against West Ham, we considered a goal as a result of that. We lost the ball. We didn't press to the midfielder who held the ball and passed the ball to Jarrod Bowen. Then Jarrod Bowen had the chance and he shot the ball just around the middle of before the line of the 6-yard. In the 18-yard box, he shot the ball across the field that led to the goal, scoring in the other side of the net. Same thing happened on the left side of the field if you're attacking Manchester United. Manuel Ugarte lost the ball and Ouattara or whoever was on the left side pounced and then drove the ball to that place. And then as he got to that point where I was talking about, just between the 18-yard line and the 6-yard line in the middle there, towards the left side of the box, he shot the ball across and scored, albeit it was the league that deflected it and he went in. So, which meant he went beyond the reach of the goalkeeper. So with that, you could tell that obviously we need to do a lot of work in that channel defending and all of that. So that's what I noticed in the last 2 games, but it's something that obviously we can work on, but we're going to build on it as we go. But thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for liking and sharing and subscribing. We're heading to another milestone now, surprisingly, but we thank you. We appreciate your support. We appreciate how you followed us and built a community with us together. Thank you for, you know, giving me all the support and for sending us your comments and everything. I'll see you on the next one. Thank you so much. If you haven't already, please do like, share, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't have to miss anything as it relates to Manchester United. Take care, goodbye, and God bless.